Welcome to Spaghetti on the Wall. I'm your host, Armando Ledoux. We're here to explore the realms of business, marketing, and life. Ready to make ideas stick and grow them into something great? Let's dive in.
Welcome to the Managing Partners Podcast, where law firm leaders learn to think bigger. I'm Kevin Daisy. Let's jump in.
Hi, I'm Brian DeJoles, and this is the Spaghetti on the Wall and Managing Partners Podcast. We are live at the NTL Summit here in Miami, and I'm joined by Lee Rudin of Rudin Law, based out in New Orleans.
I'm here.
Thanks for being here, Lee.
The only place in the country besides here that was relatively thawed out for a hot minute.
Oh, yeah. No, today is great. I hear we're actually going to get some cold weather tomorrow, so
yeah.
we might need a jacket, but it's
right.
Nowhere near where it is up north, so grateful.
I mean, and we got snow or ice in New Orleans too, so my family was not too happy that I was going to the sun and the sand while they're freezing their asses off.
A little jealous.
That's it.
Well, before he came on the podcast today, he gave me one of these amazing shirts. Look at this.
That's it. Merchandising, baby. Merchandising.
Yeah. So when it comes to the merch, I mean, these are beautiful shirts. Like, are you the creative mind behind it? Is that something that you enjoy coming up with?
I'm the demented mind behind all the things, right? So I do social media stuff and costumes and just trying to do something to be different.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there's hundreds of lawyers here, right? More than that around the country. Yeah. Everybody's trying to get cases, get clients. And that's just in this space. And then you got all this other noise out there. If you're not going to do something to make yourself stand out, be different, get the attention, how are they going to know who you are to hire you? So that's my mentality.
No, absolutely. I mean, but it's so creative and it's so well done. Like, outside of practicing law, do you have like any creative hobbies yourself, or do you like to?
Not specifically. I joke that I started this law firm to write off. Right, but I've always been like a cool T-shirt guy. I grew up like listening to bands, and I would go to every show. And every time I left a show, like I came with at least one T-shirt.
Yeah.
And that was my wardrobe. And like you can see what I'm wearing now. Like I don't want to wear a jacket or a suit if I don't have to. I want to be in good gear.
And comfortable.
Exactly. But also, if someone is willing to wear my stuff, my mentality is like, don't put your firm name all over it. They don't want to do that. But I think my brand is kind of fun and cool and a little bit out there, and people like it. So, I've come to some conferences and I wear some things and they're like, oh, I want one of those. And I see people, at the airport or at a mall, and they like the shirt. And I'm like, give me your address, give me your name, give me your shirt size. And I send it to them. Do I know what's going to come of it? All I know is that maybe they'll remember me when that accident happens, or they'll just be wearing the shirt around and a friend will have an accident. I mean, that's it.
No, I think that's so brilliant. And first of all, like, I also have a coffee addiction habit. So I'm with you there. I love going around and finding all the new coffee shops and everything.
Yeah.
But I think it's so brilliant because you take the angle of not it being necessarily all about the law brand, but just an interesting shirt. Obviously, it's kind of hidden in there, so it's not completely gone. But it makes people actually want to wear and enjoy the shirt, which keeps you top of mind.
And when you talk about whether it's a TV commercial, something on social media, a billboard, right? You're looking for that pattern interrupt. You got to stop people when they're scrolling their phones or they're moving a mile a minute and they have to see whatever it is. So, like this shirt has "Stop Being Polite" on the back. The one I'm wearing has it on the front. The OG shirt that I have is a black shirt, white writing, this exact design, and it just says "Stop Being Polite." And people are always like, oh, man, like, that's awesome. What's the back saying? I give them my fucking elevator pitch, right? You tired of getting pushed around by insurance companies? Oh, you got to stop being polite. And then I do this and get rude, right? And then all of a sudden, like, they're chuckling. And I don't know if it's going to work, but I know that if I don't do something different, you're going to get buried by the 800-pound gorillas and everybody else that's demanding attention or has already earned it from decades of being in the market.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you have a background in sales, but just as soon as you said pattern interrupt, I know that's exactly what you have to do. I've been there in sales situations where you're just trying to get somebody to pay attention, but you have to stop them in their tracks from whatever they're doing. But while you're here at the conference, is there anything that you're hoping to get out of it? Like if there were one takeaway, what would a success look like?
So, it's funny. I spoke at PIMCon back in October. And I was honored to even be asked, right? Because we're a young firm, and the guys that were on that stage, the guys and gals, are heavy hitters. Some icons of the industry, and then me. And I think that some of what I'm doing brand-wise was why they brought me out there, just because it's different and unique, and maybe something that people can think about to supplement what they're doing in their firms. And so here, a lot of me being here was to follow up on those relationships, new friends I made, different contacts. But I also thought, I don't know what's going to come of it, but I know that if I'm not here, nothing's going to come of it. So, that's half the battle, is just showing up. So that's what I'm here for, making more relationships, furthering other ones, having a good time.
Yeah.
And getting out of the cold, right?
Yeah. You're just dropping jewels today. Pattern interrupts, and half the battle is showing up. And that's in any industry, not just being an attorney. So.
That's it. Yeah.
And you mentioned you guys are a young firm. How long have you been around?
So I started the firm 2.5 years ago. I've been a lawyer for 13 years, but I was on the defense side for a while.
Yeah.
And then I organically grew an injury practice just by helping people that I knew, and then them referring their friends and their family members and neighbors. And then all of a sudden that snowballed, and my old firm said, Lee, like, you're doing a great job, but you can't build a plaintiff firm in our defense firm. And also we want some of that money going to us and not to you. And I said, okay, well, I'm not doing that. And I'm not doing that. And so, in a week, I basically figured out I had to go. And I was on vacation. I made some phone calls to some people that are actually here that were really kind with information and offered me, hey, do you want to work on a case with me? You need office space. People were super generous. And I knew what cases were going to come with me. And I said, I think I can do this thing. Maybe foolishly, but it's worked out really well. And we're doing, we're trending in the right direction. So
that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And the fact that you got the start in it with those relationships, as you mentioned, and now you're back here following up with those relationships maybe and making some additional ones. So
it's great.
That's so cool and so important. And while you're here in Miami, aside from building those relationships, is there anything else that you're looking forward to? Because it is such a great and fun city.
Well, I landed around lunchtime Sunday, and I have a good buddy of mine from college and one of his buddies who I've known since we were in college. So, we met, we had lunch, I got to hang out and catch up. And then again, it's fun because the people in this community, in the plaintiff injury lawyer community, are really they're good people, right? You kind of have to have some altruistic bone, even though maybe there's a profit at the end.
Sure,
they're good people, and it's fun to hang out with them, and again, make new friends. I'm a people person. I could talk to that brick wall over there and be totally fine. So it's just nice to get to do this and see what it's all about. And I said to my buddy at lunch, I said, this could be an annual thing. He's like, man, we'd love for you to be here annually in January to come at least cut up with us a little bit. So it's not too bad to be here in Miami.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah,
We're happy to have you here.
Thanks.
And what's one skill that you have maybe that wouldn't be listed on your LinkedIn that maybe people would be surprised to hear?
One of the skills that I have that is helpful in my practice and helpful in, I guess, in any walk of life is that I fancy myself to be a chameleon, right? I didn't grow up super wealthy. I grew up in a town with, some haves, some have-nots, every race, color, creed. It was very diverse. I can move between rooms really well. So I think that when you're working with people that are not exactly like you, right? Maybe you're the affluent lawyer, but you're working with someone who doesn't have what to pay the bills that week. You have to be able to understand what it's like and then level with them. And not, they don't want to hear from the person that thinks they're better than them.
Yeah.
So I think to be real with people and be able to have conversations and try to hear them, really hear them, that goes a long way. And it's not going to show up on a LinkedIn resume.
Yeah. And I think that's exactly it. And having that sense of empathy where you understand their perspective.
And you got to figure too, there's a lot of instances where they're coming to you and maybe it's not the very beginning, but somewhere down the road and they're super frustrated. And you're the counselor, right? You're on the receiving end of that bullshit. But it's not about you, and they're not mad at you, but you are the one receiving the anger that they have because of the situation that they're in. And not everybody is that fortunate where they've got that backup plan. So, if the car the doctor, or, if you can't work and now you're short on rent and the landlord's banging down your door, what do you do? And so, I tell my team, I'm like, you got to understand, hopefully they're not coming to us first. They've tried to exhaust something else and then they come to us.
Yeah.
It's not always like that, but if you think about them glass half full as opposed to glass half empty, you can receive that a little bit better.
Yeah.
So
and earlier you mentioned you had a background in defense prior to getting into what you are now. And were those transferable skills, or is it has it been completely different jumping in this direction?
I mean, the skills are the legal skills are directly transferable in the sense that I was doing auto work and premises work on the defense side, and I used to look and say, man, we're writing checks to these idiots. The other lawyers, they're idiots. They're not good at what they do. And I was like, I could be that idiot. And that's like kind of how it started, because yeah, you might work a case and maybe you'll bill $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 on the case, but you're still writing a check for, it could be 10x that number. And, I just thought you can help people. You have the skill set. You like working with people. And, when someone's like, what's the difference? I said, you go do well for an insurance company. It's like winning the pie eating contest and the prize is more pie, right? You get more cases. You help some individual, really help them. It could even be a small number, $5,000. Someone doesn't have anything. It's a lot of money, but then you write them that $150,000 check. Now they're buying a house, right? When they never bought a house before. And that feedback is emotionally tremendous.
Yeah.
So if you like that kind of stuff and you want to feel good about helping somebody, it's a good place to be.
Absolutely. And it seems like a common theme here at the conference is like people's sense of contribution. We had an attorney before who talked about succession law and having something set up for when a lawyer gets older, maybe how is he going to pass on that legacy forward? And it's just that, again, sense of contribution.
Look, we get a bad reputation on the injury, in the plaintiff personal injury community, right? We're bottom feeders, we're ambulance chasers. In my firm, we're not ambulance chasers. We just stand outside the hospital and wait for them to stop. They're too fast. No, but we are helping people. Yeah, of course we make money doing it. But if you really peel back the layers of the onion, you understand like some of these people would not get helped. They would get preyed upon by the companies that they thought were there to help them. You have to be giving to do that. Even though you want to make money as a business in the end, you're going to do a lot of bullshit to get there. So you have to really in your core want to help somebody.
Absolutely.
So good people.
Lee, thank you so much for
My
being
pleasure.
here today.
Thank you for having me.
And if you're interested in getting in touch with Lee, what's the best way for them to do that?
That is getrude.com. We have an 800 number for your touch tone phones. 833-GET-RUDE, 833-438-7833. And on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, we are at Get Rude Law. If you're looking to see some costume shenanigans, come find me.
Thank you so much for listening and watching. This has been the Spaghetti on the Wall and Managing Partners podcast.
See ya.